Hello,
Hi.
hello.
Hi.
Welcome, episode 70.
70.
I don't know why I was happy
What
to-
happens on 70?
A lot. First of all, the beginning was random AF.
Yeah. We
But
started talking
yeah.
about our grievances with the economy and finances and
And
Inner
childhood. Yani, so deep for I don't know if it was necessary, but it was.
yeah.
That's the banter.
That's the banter when you come to Banter Brunch. But sorry, my name is Kanji.
I'm Alexia Musau.
And welcome to our little space on the internet. This I really enjoyed recording this episode. Nevertheless, as you can tell from the title, we do talk about our experience post-COVID. I really had a catchy title for this episode. If I remember, then you're probably seeing it. If not, then
You
it's
won't know.
post-episode.
Will they know if it's the catchy
I'm giving you
one?
guys TMI. But yeah, I don't know. What else do we want to prompt them on, or we can just get into the episode? Do we have anything
special? No, just like, share, subscribe.
like, share, subscribe?
Thanks for the support so far. We are definitely.
Yeah, guys.
It could be.
We're on a road to 5K. You know what? Let's start that campaign.
Where to go 200?
Yeah, this is a road to 5K.
So 5K, I'm gonna have a
Do you know
life.
how that's gonna happen? It can't happen without your support. It can't happen without you from the audio listening platforms just taking a bit of time to check the link in the description to go subscribe and continue with your business on the audio platforms. It won't happen if you who's clicked on this video does not subscribe.
And subscribing is free, guys.
It's free.
Sometimes people think it means you have to
Hakuna
pay
anything.
something. This is
It's just
zero
free.
bob.
You just see our faces, beautiful faces, when we put a video up on YouTube on Fridays, and that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
And
So road to
enjoy the
5K.
content.
Let's keep this this
us
this
psych, give us
psych
psych,
going
guys.
and keep the conversation going beyond just the podcast. Follow us on Instagram at Banter Brunch, on Twitter at BOB Podcast _ all in the description box down below. Interact with us. Tell us what your opinions are on this topic that we're discussing. Go DM us. Tell us what your experience has been. Just vibe with us.
Yeah.
This Banter Brunch is not banter between me and Alexia. It's banter between all of us, the community.
Yes.
Aya. Nimeongea sana.
Yeah.
Let's
But
get
important
into
things.
it.
So enjoy the episode.
Yeah. And see you guys.
See you.
Aight. Sasa ukitoa miguu hivyo alafu complain when you're watching the episode.
Azionekani.
Aya.
Yours are the zinaonekana. You see?
Mine zinaonekana.
Ata I tried to crop your knees from the picture because you
My-
had complained about your shoes.
My
I was like,
feet.
Nani alimwambia aweke miguu juu? And now I'm very okay. Anyway, hi guys. We're always bickering. Alice is always leaning on me at the beginning of the
Yeah.
episode.
Because
Alexia was
there's
playing
always
with this
something you've decided now at the
But
start
my
of
feet
the
are okay. You literally looked for me.
Because I'm like, anyway.
It's hot.
So why are both of them looking swollen today? Am I
It's
just
hot.
one? Weather even affects
It's
your
hot,
feet.
I'm sure. And I've been sitting for a while anyway. Yeah.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Banter Brunch.
My name is Alexia Musau.
We're doing another intro in the
Oh.
beginning. So,
Charlie, I've been doing this for a year plus
and we're still.
and I'm still fun.
But now that she said her name, yeah, that's Alexia. My name is Alice again.
Yeah, and welcome
Yeah.
to the episode.
I'm really excited for this episode just because the topic came last minute, and I think it's a topic that
Makes
we
sense.
definitely needed to talk about because I think there's so much the pandemic has taught us that having a podcast, surely we have to highlight them. It's only right.
It's a Pondastic pandemic.
It's what? Yeah, at what?
It's a pandemic podcast. It's a
Pandemic.
Well, that's so hard to say. Pandemic.
It's a pandemic podcast, post-pandemic podcast. Is it
No,
post?
I'm saying our podcast is a pandemic
Oh,
podcast. The way we have
wow.
pandemic babies.
This is our pandemic baby. I totally
Yeah.
forgot about that.
Wow.
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 How does it feel, Banter Brunch, to be in the real world?
It's exciting. It really is. Because I feel like we were being forced. Okay, are we getting to the episode? We might as well.
yeah.
We were being forced. You see, with the pandemic, we weren't thinking big as much.
True, because
Or we couldn't implement big things.
big
'Cause
ideas.
I'll tell you guys, we recorded the podcast on Alice's bed, my bed,
That was the standard.
Every
Single. Maybe if we are changing is our friend's
It's
house,
bed.
our friend's bed.
What was our obsession with beds? Surely, and
So we
meant
had
be
to be
having
lazy. We're
brunch.
just lazy, like the mood in the pandemic, really.
But we like
And
to be comfortable.
So now coming here, hey, sorry guys, the sound, allow it. But coming here now has forced us to change. Like every week now we are dressing up to come to do the episode. Venye tulikuwa tunakaa like
Na bado, guys, we're gonna be dressing up like really soon.
we are going to even match.
We're upgrading the closet.
Right now I'm in uni outfit. By the way, hey, by the time you're watching this, maybe I'll just be 1 week or 3 days away from finishing uni. Can you imagine?
I'll add
I'm almost done with the journey. The horrendous journey of university. You know, uni is not hard. Okay, personally.
Mm-hmm. Uni is not made to
uni
make
is
you
not,
fail.
Yes,
you
it's
can
not
pass.
made.
They just want you to
yes.
return.
But I'm still trying to understand why it's the hardest thing to finish. Like I feel, you know, sometimes when you graduate, you're feeling, you know, like there was no high school graduation, but I feel uni graduation is a graduation that needs to happen because it's an accomplishment.
It is. It is.
And I don't know, my question is, I don't know why uni is not hard to pass, but the journey within is just so stressful.
Yeah, and it's for everyone, even smart students.
And it's for everyone. I saw this tweet that just because you are smart in high school doesn't mean you can do that degree. Aim lower. And it is so it's so
okay.
I resonated. And I quoted retweet and I said, even the ones you think are lower
are the ones who come to shine.
Are tough. Stay strong. Because
uni,
even the ones you're aiming lower. Because people like me, truthfully, I was at I do law. That was my mom's path. No. I was choosing my course, which was I do communications, because I thought, you know, I've stressed enough for so many years. Let me pick a course that's easy. But it feels like I have labored and I have done so much. And it's just, I don't know if it's the thought of uni that makes it more 10 times difficult than actually doing uni, or it's just waking up early to do. Anyway,
but
this
I think
is not
also,
a uni episode.
Because you are also juggling so many things.
Yes.
And you aren't giving it the attention as a full-time student.
Maybe if I actually was a full-time student, I wouldn't be feeling some of the experiences that I'm feeling. But I think for me, the frustration is it feels like, by the way, that has so much impact in my life. Like it's like I'm trying to move on, but there's this big thing that I need to finish. That is such a huge priority, especially for my parents. So
and for society somehow.
And for
as
society,
much as you
and
can
for
make
myself.
it without degrees. It's always good to have the paper, honestly.
Truthfully,
for yourself.
9 times out of 10 I've done it because of academic validation. Because I'm one of those people who I like to feel like I need to accomplish things. I need to be good at everything that I do. I'm a go-getter. And academic accomplishments is simply one of those things. And I wouldn't be surprised if I lower myself into doing a master's or a PhD.
Just to say I have a master's.
To do that. But the whole time I'm complaining
and doing other things and not giving enough time to it. But I think there are many people like that. It's almost a sickness.
It is a sickness. Actually, maybe we should do an episode on academic validation, because it's a disease. There are people who are suffering.
Yeah, and maybe you feel like even if everything else in your life is okay,
at
you
least
have not achieved because I don't have this paper and stuff like
exactly which is not, uni is not everything. But to people, some people, until today, I know people say uni is not everything, you know, I'm pursuing my life, you know, doing this thing. But there are a lot of people out there who say it but know deep down that I want to have this academic validation, just to have it.
And if you're that person and for one reason or another you aren't able to achieve, there's no time frame in life. Go do your degree at 28. Go do your degree at 40.
100%.
You know?
Actually,
and circumstances, as you are privileged, you can do it for 4, moving swiftly. You know, I remember even just outside on this road on Sunday, I met a guy, randomly came to the car. I think we had parked, and he was looking for a job, and he was like, even this clothes, I don't even have any other clothes. His shoes, like you could tell I'm a tarmac, literally. And I remember asking him, so have you worked before? What were you? So just to get a feel of what I can give him, you know, or in case I have anything. And I asked him, so umefikisha, like which level of academics? And he was like primary. Was it primary? Primary.
Wow.
And this is someone who, looks 25, 26, you know, and I was just like, wow, even going to high school is such a privilege, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I thought he was going to say Form 4. You know how you always think Form 4 is that at least if you pick up Form 4, you can do certificate. Like,
there are people in this Kenya of ours that are struggling to even get enough money. Like, even to pay for uni is a struggle, right? I know, and you know, I genuinely, like, I like to say that we were more privileged before my dad retired, because that was the reality of things. Like, I'd ask for things and I'd kind of get them. But this is the one time that all throughout uni, I saw my dad struggle to finish, to pay the education, because for parents, that's like their accomplishment. I think they even celebrate with my mom. Their celebration. We did it because now I'm the last child, and this is like, they've done what they needed to do as parents. One of the
best, I can say it is the best uni in Kenya. So
the best, but
private uni.
It's the best uni, but the suffering comes.
They are overachievers. So even in suffering, you're overachieving.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, I love stuff.
Yeah, no. Anyway, can we talk about even how bad the economy is? Jana nilienda kununua mayai pasua that has been standard price from time immemorial. Ati ananiambia haya ndio hizi mabei 25 bob. Ati chapo smoky is normally 50 bob. Surely we know chapo smoky is 50 bob. Time immemorial.
Nice.
Ati it's 80 bob and lazima uchukue chapo mbili ndio akufungie. Ati chapo mbili na hiyo smoky moja. That's the standard.
Why two chapos? That's so many.
Ati 80 bob. I don't
smoky
know.
Paswa?
As in, you have to, you know how smoky pasua, I think Sony shout out to Sony, she told me it was 35 bob,
which is high.
Kwani tuko deja vu tukitoka nje at a night out?
I remember smoky used to be 20 or 25. I think 20. Then it ikapanda 30 because Tao it's 30. But I remember my plug for Langata was 25 for so long. Then he pandished to 30. But we can't even blame them, because I've seen a tweet. You know this fishmonger. Chips Mituma there for Twitter. Yeah, and she just blew up from selling chipos and stuff like that. She's shut her business.
Yeah.
She said, I can't afford waru. I can't afford oil. You know, my profit margins are not making sense for me to stay in business. So it's so hard for small businesses. Even big businesses so feel this.
My mom also had a restaurant on one of the two. Is it Makibandas? Hey, even how she had to shut it down. Kwanza COVID. COVID is another disaster that happened to the economy. They were about to talk about the value of the Kenyan shillings right now.
Hey, I feel for people paying things with dollars. Hey. It's madness. No, it's good when we get in dollars. Paying,
itabidi sasa watu wameanza kuchange. Mimi hata sahi sitaki mambo za Kenya shillings. Mimi, what's the best bank? Nianze tu sahi my dollar journey, because it cannot be, if you're close to even reaching 20 at this point, to the US dollar.
We're at 140.
I mean, not 20, 120. We're about to reach 120, which is crazy. It's always been 100.
We always used to say add 2 zeros. That's what
it's always been.
You're like, hey,
nah.
I don't know. I know it's also worldwide. It can be felt worldwide.
It is worldwide.
With oil and all that.
Oil.
Today, we're recording this on the 15th. Yeah. Fuel prices increased from midnight today. And it's such a huge increment. I'm just like, electric cars.
What is going on? Like, is it the war?
It's the human species. We're just being eradicated. You know, we try to... from Earth, I don't know.
Itumalize bas kama that's if you're dying, you know, if we are all dying, you know, it's better than one.
Sometimes I say, is it so bad for God to come back? Let's just go to heaven, you know?
And you know, where everything, what's crazy is everything is man-made. Like the economy, we are the ones who control it. We are the ones who even made it a thing. We are the ones who are making ourselves
demand,
suffer.
Supply, it's all man-made. Me sometimes I'm like, Mungu
si tuseme tu ni jokiso, tuseme tu we start a new nini.
A new chapter. Jokes, guys, jokes. You want some money? Go to the bank, money.
Pick, now we are Gucci. You know,
it's greed. It's human greed, wanting to be better than everyone. You know, we could all be equal.
You know, an increase in nini. We learned this in school, but an increase in the economy, whatever, life, living in general, an increase in crime. So you'll find a lot of people doing wash, which makes things even worse. You'll find a lot of people stealing. Mimi yangu imeenda. huyo mtu anaenda tu kuzana parts economy. Uhuru
he needs to eat probably. Maybe
hata Uhuru anipatie hiyo simu sasa yenye nimeibiwa.
He needs to repay, he needs to compensate. Yeah, because now Putin, now to our first world. My first world people who think, even in church, the sermon series was about leadership. Yeah. And the pastor was so frustrated. He said, Yani, there's no one in this world who can have the final say over a matter and it's acted upon. Because now no one can stand up to Putin. UN, like all these agencies, they're just there
money.
For
money and tax-free
just
vibes.
To show face. Yeah, just there's nothing really
why has nobody ever built, or maybe there are, but they're just not taken as seriously? Like UN is such an old organization that maybe perhaps is no longer able to sustain world peace or the world economy to where it was. Because in general, it was supposed to maintain peace after the war. It was supposed to maintain like some level of, but every day Iraq, Iran wars, Somalia, our neighbors here are suffering.
They're just walking in Karura. They're just with their dogs. You only see UN. Sasa hizo ni 11.
Alafu they go shop in that shop there. What is it called? They are duty free. What is it called?
11 a.m.
Tax free.
Instead of people are working in the office. You are working in. Okay, even me, I'm working. But me, I can afford to work. Nyinyi wote.
What is it that you're doing in this country? Nyinyi wote wenye
mnapata special treatment.
Nyinyi wote mko hapa special treatment.
We need to
reevaluate. This podcast has taken such
work in the UN. Sorry.
No, but I'm open for job opportunities in the UN.
Even after talking.
Personally, if this episode, when I go do an interview, I'm deleting this episode because I love the UN. I love the government organizations. If you can't beat them, join them at this point.
A great job.
If you can't beat them, you join them. Ni jokes. How do you joke so? Gosh.
No, but you see, when at a job interview, they say, what do you think you can do different? You have to bring change.
You know what happens is you come out, before you go to the job world, you have so many dreams of what, they've instilled in you in school, the impact that you can make, the changes you can make, what you want to do, you can change the world. In the interview, like you're saying, you have all these ideas, and then you go there and implementing. Your dreams die.
Or you become complacent.
I feel like the work world can literally make your dreams die.
Especially if you're in rooms and you're not even given time to speak. And
exactly.
As it grows, one day you'll just shut up and just do your work.
And that's how people end up just living a normal, regular life, because it becomes very difficult. Pursuing your dreams is easier said than done. It becomes very comfortable for you to gain a regular salary, for you to have insurance by the company, for you to just live a normal life. But I remember when you were a kid, when you were saying, I want to do this, I want to do that. And I
want to change the world. Kids are so innocent because they see the world in a way that my dreams are possible. Like what I want can be done,
And generally I used to think that way until I finished high school and joined uni. And then somewhere around second year, I mean, it's not the same passion you would have as a kid. As a kid,
at least
I'm going to be an architect, and you don't even know how. You don't
know what it
but you know it's gonna happen. You don't even know what it entails. I want to be Superman.
I remember thinking about that one day, and I was so sad. I thought about how when I was in primary, I knew what, and then life just does for you. Podcaster. I'm not complaining. Enjoy.
Don't kill me.
Yani life can take you. You're just
don't go podcast.
No, I literally thought about myself
to be a podcaster. By the way, when you grow up,
5,
would you have said podcaster?
I wanted to be a lawyer, and I was so set on it. I was gonna be such a badass lawyer.
Sasa FE lingia wapi kwa hiyo mix?
Acha FE. Came class 7, 8, 9. I want to be a pilot. I was very sure. Even people who know me probably know Alexia is going to be a pilot. Primary till Form 1.
Ukaanza kuona.
My transfer, I just got confused in the system. I even had to take subjects just for the sake of taking them and finishing high school. After high school now, finance. Where's finance? Even parents, surely. Your child has never mentioned maths.
And then, they manipulate. Because your parents have a very big impact in your decisions at a time like that. When you're confused. Why don't you... Have you thought of finance? It's a good course.
You're very marketable. You'll never lack a job. Come work for...
And you at that time you're so confused.
Calculus.
I think there should be a training post high school
For both parents
and not
and
even when
students.
you're in high school, just 2 months in after. Now is when you figure, because I liked the idea of having a break after high school.
That's something that should be preached more often. It's made to look like you're wasting time. Surely, what are we hiring for?
Because I remember, it used to be that way. Like KCPE results used to come 2 months after you've now rested. Maybe you've thought about maybe what you want to do. Squeezy, the month of January, ushapelekwa Strathmore.
Orientation, because
Ushapelekwa ICDL. After ICDL, ushapelekwa sasa immediate umeingia.
I think even those ICDLs are okay, or those two packages. Those two I feel like they should just be a year break.
There should be.
Even apprenticeship. Go to the career you think you'd like to do. Sit with someone. See what they're doing, what their day-to-day life entails. You know,
and I know people
we go
say
so blindly. Even me, I went to do finance. I didn't think it's like investment. I don't know what I was thinking. Then you're thinking the jobs I'm going to go to right now. Okay, they're exciting, but they're boring.
Yeah.
You know, I was just like, me. Yeah,
so mimi nilikuwa nadhani eventually maybe nitakuwa journalist. I'm not too far. Podcaster.
Yeah, not too far. And initially, even the first time I went to start, which brochure did I say? Communicate would have been classmates.
Would have been classmates.
But my parents owe me this. Yes, they've wasted. But it's fine.
This wasn't even supposed to be that. What minute are we in?
Well, 20 minutes into the podcast.
20 minutes
we can
into
get
the podcast.
into...
Now we can get into the episode. We've had the cry, but what I'm really sad about from our whole discussion is how dreams die. It is. And for me, as like, I have to make childhood Alexia proud. Yeah. Like, it's okay. Maybe it's okay for the dreams to transform. And I think I'm even talking to myself. Maybe it's for them to transform into something more reasonable. Not reasonable, but something more you, and because that meshes with your personality. Because sometimes they're absurd. You know, wanting to be an engineer, and you know that's just not your personality at all. So it's okay for them to adapt, but just for them to die, I that's really sad, and it happens to a lot of adults. And
it does, and you're always trying to please your inner child, because that child, the inner child, is usually most pure, and does things for enjoyment. You know, that time you're not even thinking about money. You're not even thinking about
money is growing on trees. Mom can buy me this. Mom
exactly.
Can buy me
it's something that's come. You're just passionate about it. You know, now once you're adulting and money and what do people think of me and all these things come to your mind, then obviously you have to.
Yeah. But every stage with these problems, I remember primary, I felt like no, but I enjoyed my primary. High school ndio siwezi rudi. Huko now you can just I don't even, sometimes you say, oh, I wish I could go back. I don't wish to go back to high school. We can go back to the child. I skip the high school part of things, the uni part of things as well. Actually, no, I don't know. That's the thing. I also don't want to reverse because school was very frustrating for me. Like, I know I didn't do bad. I don't think I'm doing bad currently as I do these exams that I finish uni bad. But for me,
you're done.
I've never liked education. That's what I'm saying. If I find myself doing masters, it is purely academic validation. But yeah, if you want to give me a scholarship, it's not. I love, I'm passionate about education.
I love studying. I'm trying to change the world.
Oh my gosh.
Are you guys seeing how Alice is not fake, but you gotta do what you gotta do.
If you can't beat them, join them. I'm not respectfully. No, let me not say that. Hypothetically, I'm not going to be the one to change the world. I'm not looking to be that person. I'm not looking to be the person who's like, we changed the like the changes through communication. I'm not going to be the activist. Maybe I will in future, but I'm going with the flow. And I know it's a bad thing, and I have the same attitude when it comes to voting. By the way, guys, go vote.
Smart.
But in general, like, I've never felt to be the one to change the system in some levels. Maybe if it's like a unique podcast idea or a unique communications thing so maybe that's changing the world in my own way. But easy mavitu big. Can we move on? I'm talking too much. Let's now guys, we can get into
that's how we are on the audio episodes.
That's actually now that we're in this too far in, I know some of you guys might be wondering why we are skipping episodes on YouTube. Episode 68, then we're moving to
Oh, yeah.
It's
This
because
episode 70.
This is 70. This is 7. Oh yeah, this is 70. Yeah, woo! Road to 100. Hey, 100 we'll do an episode on what we've achieved so far. What have we achieved?
Alice, move on.
Yeah, so anyway, the reason why the episodes are that way is because we always have an episode. We have 2 episodes in a week, and we have an audio episode every single week on Wednesdays, which is essentially our Radio to 5. Sorry about that. Which is essentially our Radio to 54 episode, which we have every single Sunday from 12 to 1 p.m.
live.
The brunch hour. That's what the name of the Wednesday show is called. Maybe we should be changing our thumbnail for the Wednesday episodes. Tafakari hayo. But yeah, so that's why there's a skip. Go, if you love these conversations that we're having on YouTube, make sure you please subscribe, like, share with your friends, share on Instagram, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter. Everything is normally linked in the description box from wherever you're listening from, whether it's the audio platforms or whether it's the podcast listening platforms. All our information is in the descriptions. And yeah, so so the Sunday episodes is our Wednesday episodes. So if you're miss us on Friday, imagine you can catch us. The Luo is catching up with me.
Please.
You can catch us on Wednesday. You can catch us on Sunday. Abundance.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And also, Sunday you can listen live on radio.254.
Yeah, and shout out to there's a track here, but anyway, big shout out to Aura Homes for allowing us to use the space. As you can see, it's a lovely place. It's where we've shot all our visual episodes, actually. Well, except the first one, but chicken wings. Sometimes we try to incorporate food in the podcast to go with the theme Banter of a Brunch, but sometimes it just doesn't work. But yeah, we move.
The name is here to stay. So
the name is here to stay. So yeah, we can now get into the COVID episode.
Yeah, so guys, basically we're just talking about some of the lessons that we picked up, or some of the things that COVID taught us, in short. We do know COVID is still around, so take care, guys.
What is the percentage? Do you know?
No, I'm not sure. It's been so long since I had someone say I tested positive for COVID.
In fact, after now we are not even wearing masks, apparently.
Yeah, like in public. Yeah. But transport, church, still have to try and wear.
Really? I didn't wear in the exam room today in school. I didn't sumbuliwa. Sorry guys, I'm trying to fix my mic. But yeah, anyway, so this, we can more or less say this is quote unquote post-pandemic almost, because life is slowly but surely
until China decides otherwise.
But surely
I heard they have double
1,000.
But
was the pandemic necessary? Like, can we just deep that we went through?
I think we are going to really digress.
Okay, but I'm just.
Was it bats that were eaten?
Like, was the pandemic necessary? Like, did it have to happen? But maybe it did, to make the changes that we're about to talk about.
I just feel obviously it was cooked up. Population control.
God anakuanga na tricks kama hizo plagues manini for change to happen.
So and signs that the world is ending. Haya, shindeni hapo.
Ituchukue wote si moja. I'm not ready for grief.
That's a topic of another day, because let me tell you that I'm struggling with death. I don't know. I just think
struggling with
the idea of death. Okay,
yeah.
Guys, I'm digressing.
Yeah.
But like,
actually,
sometimes when I'm really happy, I'm like, oh, like I'm chasing a deal. Like now how we are chasing this paper. And I'm like, what is it for? And then I could just drop dead.
Yeah.
So
actually, one of my points is very related to that point. Mm. But yeah, so we're just going to touch on what we've learned, I guess. I had a really juicy topic for this episode.
I know.
What
is
it?
Did we record?
Anyway, did you record it? Anyway. No, the first, anyway. Life after COVID, what we've picked up. So for me, each of us have 4 points. I don't know what Alexia has written down, and she doesn't know what my points are. But yeah, I'm just going to start by saying the first thing that I picked up post-COVID was that you can be productive, or you can work without necessarily having to do a 9-to-5. And that's very much related to hard work being overrated. I feel like we always felt the need to go to, or rather, I wasn't working then, but jobs in general, working from home was not a thing. I don't think it was a thing before COVID. Was it? It was barely a thing.
It was barely
At TO, we were having Zoom meetings.
What
we were having
was Zoom?
Skype meetings. Zoom was not existent.
Zoom have made money. Nama Teams, money.
Yeah, there was only Skype, and Skype fumbled the bag there. But yeah, like, so for me, the discovery that
house party.
we were overworking ourselves for things that can easily be done, not at the comfort of your home, but without having to go through the stress or the money to go all the way to an office, to pay for an office space. And you're for example, a job that can easily function with working from home. It's given the opportunity for you to even work with people in diverse places. Like you can work with easily someone who's in Spain, someone who's in London, but you're one team and you're still productive. So for me, my lesson was a 9 to 5. Like, I know these days it's very common, it's not in the blueprint, but I think it got more intense after COVID, just knowing that we could have easily built such systems very quick, like to make our lives easier, but we didn't. We needed a pandemic to show us that, this is possible. And what I like is that energy has somewhat carried on post-COVID, because now a lot of companies are working from home. You find yourself in... Yeah, even if you can work for an international company without having to travel to the country. Like relocate. That for me is, relocate to the country. That for me was a really big lesson, that hard work is overrated. You just need to work smart. And people say that all the time, but generally just seeing it manifest into that. Like, I don't have to be on my desk. Like, I can just do 2 hours in the morning and I've done enough work, and then I rest a bit and then pick up the work, maybe have meetings when I need to, do things when you need to, not because I'm being forced to be here. And I think that for me was a big takeaway from COVID.
Sure, I think I threw shade on you and guys of Karura, Kiwoye. But they could just have them. Maybe they're having their meetings, then they have a slot and they come, and walk the dog.
You can have a life.
Yeah, outside work.
Because 9 to 5 is so consuming.
And then traffic. Think about traffic. Going to work in the morning, traffic coming back home. For me also, in light with that also, is in terms of the academic space. I think when COVID came, school moved to online.
Yes.
And for me, when I had more time on my hands, I remember doing that Google Digital Skills for Africa course. It's such a fantastic course. Honestly, everything I know about digital marketing, even beyond CIM, I did it before I did my digital marketing unit for CIM, and it was very, by the time my lecturer is telling me things, I already have so much. Yeah,
I actually did the same short course, but for
and I remember you told me that and got certification. I think
and they give you certification, and it lasts for 2 years. So
and it's on LinkedIn and it's on all these
you can learn from online.
That's the thing, and then
Skillshare.
You're really stealing my point. But
sorry.
Skillshare sponsor us. That's what I was saying. Like, you can really. And especially if you're working from home, you're also able, that time maybe that you are commuting, even if it's 30 minutes a day for a course. It really opened the world to, I can do other things. I can also
life is beyond
this one thing.
Chasing the bag.
Yeah. And also a lot of career changes. Most people got pay cuts, got retrenched and stuff like that. And you have to think from, okay, where am I going to start?
Yeah, where do I begin my life
and
again?
Many people had career changes, and these short courses are the ones that give you like an introduction to a new career. Because by the time you're applying for, let's say, project management or digital marketing, and someone is saying, oh, you've done HubSpot, you've done Google. You've learned Canva, you've learned, you can get an internship, you can get something.
Imagine.
Yeah, so for me, it really pushed me. And with that also, there's also, I saw this tweet, go back to the courses you registered for. I started HubSpot content marketing last year. When have I finished? So just an encouragement, if you started any online course, also go back to it, because it's so easy to taste stipendi
and be committed, because you can easily find the answers. Being the internet, very easily for you to get a certification but if you actually want to learn, take the notes, do the whole thing. And the experience is way different than being forced kind of in an institution to do something
and just better yourself, honestly.
In fact, I want to do a nini on podcasting. I think I can be a better podcaster than I am now.
Yeah, Kwadi, you're feeling the same pressure as me. I was thinking
about it this morning. I was like, there's there's conversation. Okay, maybe this is on the side, but
we want to be better podcasters. So Skillshare, we need some paid partnerships so that we can talk about what we've learned from Skillshare.
What's your lesson?
That was my lesson. I go just online education, academics, and all these things, and we don't realize we have that much free time until you can't leave the house and you can't meet people and you can't do whatnot. And maybe I'll just go to my second and then you can do the other one.
Sure.
For me, it also taught me about cash flow and savings and emergency funds. I think we didn't think that would happen. Honestly, we didn't.
Nobody.
We never thought would be told, stay in. There's a curfew. Or you've lost your good, well-paying job.
7 p.m.
Do you remember that one? Mad. It was tough. By 4 p.m., you're already sweating because you need to head home.
At the home 7 and the streets were empty.
Yeah. So for me, it taught me the importance of having an emergency.
Can't wait to tell my kids these stories.
Yeah, an emergency fund and just money that I can easily access. Also, a conversation that I saw going around is many people got sick. Many of our parents got sick or... Even you as a young person, especially at the beginning of COVID, it was really bad to the point you were hospitalized and, we know how hospitals are. They're a money-making scheme, honestly. And you don't need a piece of land, because you could have 5 acres. Who is buying that land during COVID? And you have a relative sick in hospital and needs money that day. So for me, it taught me the importance of having money that's coming monthly, having access. Even in finance, you say cash is king. Assets, by
financial
the time
security
you're making an asset liquid, it can take so much time, So for me, it's just, as much as we're being forced to, nunua shamba hapa, ama fanya hivi hapa, also make sure that your monthly cash flow makes sense and that you have access to cash at hand.
Yeah.
I like that. For me, that was good. Cash at hand and also an emergency fund. Even at our young age, are we ever too young for an emergency?
No.
Rosha took a pesa pali because,
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you. Like, something like that was so unpredictable. And especially because there was a lot of, I know we've talked about this again, for me to bring it up, and it's also one of my points. Death is so sudden and expensive. So that's another emergency fund and a lot of people are not prepared for. All I'm saying is I've seen a lot of people experience problems when it comes to... Maybe let me just say that point now that I'm already starting to talk about it. Death, my other point that I learned from the pandemic was that death is sudden and can happen at any time. Because so many people lost their lives. Like, as we're like, now COVID is over. But there are so many lives that were lost throughout the pandemic. Yeah. And the way that they had to be treated because of the situation was so heartbreaking. Like, when you have COVID, now you're being buried when few people limited, you can't even be touched.
Even like accessing the room, like you see the IC.
Like even unatupwa to COVID patient has to be to the side. It was like disheartening. And for me, it was one that, like you're saying, like you can be so happy today and be like, tomorrow you're gone, or it's not just you, it's your loved one, and there's nothing that can prepare you for that. And I think there's absolutely no good thing I can tell you about it, but for me it was just like, damn, death can be so sudden and brutal, and grief is something that nobody can prepare you for. And so in relation to the financial things, my initial point was, even if you feel it's too soon or how young, please write a will, even if it's just on paper or whatever. I know I've not done it myself, or even if it's your parents trying to convince them, because nobody thinks they're dying tomorrow. But getting access to that money, or even if you can help your family with some of that money and you're dead, without a will, it becomes very difficult to get access to that money. If your parent is the breadwinner, or just your sister could have helped you in some way, and they would have wanted to, but
things are tied up,
the bank is going to hold on to that money without a will. And they always say, maybe you have a family somewhere else, or something comes up.
I think the bank can give you, I think you have to present maybe death certificate.
You have to either be a student, or you have to be...
Yeah, and there are in some instances, it can be difficult. But like, some people don't even know of some banks that have their people's money. Don't how I can have a secret account, and it's imagine millions, but atujui because you've not said in the will, go to swear nini. I have an insurance there.
Really even
death insurance. There's death insurance, like if life insurance. So if I die, you give my people something. But you didn't say you had this insurance. You know, even like insurance. I know like there's life insurance and your dependents are meant to get something. Why is this dog barking? Meant to get something when you pass on. But if they have no idea about that, will the insurance company call you? Very few will say, let's call so and so I hear he died. Or maybe they don't even know you died.
There's a culture of being very secretive with your money. That's very rooted, especially I think I'd say in Africa, but all I'll say is just have that will and just give someone, just
your
at
lawyer.
least one person or your lawyer.
Yeah, that's all. The lawyers don't know.
That's it, because it will save.
Unless now you die with your lawyer.
I mean, I know you won't feel the impact, but it will save you. Anyway, what I learned.
My sad, what dark jokes. Unless you die with the lawyer.
With the lawyer.
But then I'm sure the lawyers are junior under him. So
eka kwa Google Drive alafu weke, if I die, open this is the password. Actually, I need to do that for my Kanji podcast.
Okay, too much about
moving on swiftly. Yeah, that was my point. I understood that death is fleeting, so it's good to appreciate life when you have it and appreciate the people around you because you just never know. It happens so sudden.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
a good one. I think when I combined my cash flow and money savings and emergency fund into one point. But anyway, one thing the pandemic taught me, I don't have to hug everyone and have a handshake with everyone. Especially, you know, it's too close. I don't have, a stranger doesn't have to hug me. Like I can refuse a hug. I can refuse the handshake.
We used to have disgusting habits, I'm not gonna lie. Sharing booties like that was not healthy.
Shisha.
No, ma'am.
Everything. Like we were so filthy, honestly. Even someone said blowing the candles.
But then you start thinking of it.
And then we're eating that same cake. Yeah. Like say must. I can comfortably reject or just say, no, I'm fine. I don't want a hug.
Now Strathmore is feeling
we told you, we've been preparing you guys for this, you see? Yeah, but especially because for even as women, you know how inappropriate sometimes men can hold you, hug you, shake your hand and do some nonsense and sweating. Yeah, just elbow bump and just say you have COVID so they don't touch you.
Yeah. No, let's normalize keeping distance.
Okay. Supermarket.
Everywhere.
Ama bus.
Kwanza kwa mat venye watu walikuwa na squeeze. Hata wamerudi hiyo matabia.
Wamerudi. But now, remember bus, sometimes kwa stage kuna line.
And then people are just squeezing you. They are like,
supermarket.
Civilized.
Hata unagongwa na trolley.
Hata dogi imekubali na hiyo point. Aya. My next point is that, honestly, this is common knowledge. Not common knowledge, let me not say that. But mental health problems are not a choice. A lot of people did not prepare themselves for a pandemic. And a lot of people had issues with mentally. Just depression was very creeping, especially you've lost your job or you've lost a loved one or just you that being enclosed in that one space. You start to understand why people would have some thoughts that are not healthy.
Especially because when it's the silence, it's just you and your thoughts.
There are people
who can be dangerous.
Yeah, thoughts can be dangerous. There are people who are not okay with their families. So that freedom to leave their house was their escape, but having to be in that enclosed space with people they do not like. There was always tweets about, someone get me out of this house. I don't like staying. Like I'm losing my mind. And it's true. Like I genuinely I know several people who struggled mentally and, picked up that energy, like just from the energy of the pandemic. And it's not a choice. And I've got to experience that's when I started even getting my anxiety sometimes, because sometimes I get some random bursts of anxiety. And that's, I think, one of the triggers, and it's one of my next points actually.
Maybe you can just go into it.
Yeah, let me just go to my next point. I think it's very related to this one, and which is my last point actually, that happiness needs to come from you. Because for me, I feed off people's energies like you do not understand. Like me staying at home for 1.5 weeks. Oh, sorry. For 1.5 weeks is like, okay, I need to talk to people. I need to go out. I need to interact. I need to vibe. And then I'm okay for the next. I don't know if that's a thing for people. But for me, I was feeding off people's energy. So me being enclosed in the house 24/7, 365 took a really. And I'm not very interactive with my family at your 24/7. Like I'm in my room a lot. So being in that one space and not having the chance to interact with people.
It's driving me nuts.
It drove me nuts. And it almost made me... I got into a very negative headspace. Let's just say that. And I realized that, hey, I'm very dependent on other people to feed me life instead of trying to find ways to give that life to myself.
Yeah.
So,
you're too dependent.
I'm too dependent. My happiness is too dependent on other people. External factors. And so I was in a very negative headspace. Honestly, 2020 was a very rough year for me to some extent, and it's the same routine. And it's just something that starts so you don't even notice it. You're just in your room the whole day. You're watching series, and then you wake up, you eat, you barely eat sometimes. Maybe you eat, maybe a bottle of wine, continue sleeping, you wake up, you don't want to respond to messages,
just
and the cycle every single day, and then becomes weeks, and then it becomes months, and then now it has you. So I genuinely understand that now mental health, I know people know it, but there's only some level of understanding you can get until you experience something. So mental health is not a choice, and that happiness needs to come from within. I need to start getting, and it's something I still struggle with sometimes. Like me, I'm a very I have self-sabotaging habits, especially when I feel very overwhelmed. So I think I don't know, so now I'm talking about my negative things, but happiness comes from within. Find things that make you happy, because one time you might just end up in a pandemic and you have to be alone.
In my next point is in relation to that. In terms of family and friends, you find maybe you can't even see your folks because they are high risk. You can't. I know there are some people who give birth in pandemics when their parents can't meet their grandchild, because even remember there was cessation of movement. So I can't come from Shags to Nairobi and stuff like that. So it made me also learn to appreciate the gift of family and friends. And also I might just continue. Appreciate the gift of family and friends. And also, I know there are a lot of marriages that broke during the pandemic because you're not used to being with your spouse in the house. So it made me think, like, even when things are back to normal or back to your busy schedule, always have time for your people, because someone is like, these kids are too noisy. But they're your children. So what are they to do? But it also brought more, maybe some people brought them together because you find you're working late hours and you don't have time for your children and you're missing out on them growing. Now you're able to watch them grow, cook dinner in the evening, just nice things as a family, and as friendships. I think even just friendships became a bit more different because clubbing and just people now changed. It was Airbnb and more intimate because you're thinking, I'm risking COVID to see this person. It better be worth it.
It better be worth it. Once you're 2020, you live there with your guilt tripped for 10 years. You just leave. Come bring us COVID in this house if you want to.
And another thing also is just carving out time to do things that make you happy. I think even us,
I've not done that for so long
to do the podcast. And before COVID, we would have said we don't have the time. We don't have and it's a skill that we both have and we got time to.
How did we manage to be doing all this thing in the peak of COVID? We were the bad people.
God was with us. And then, when people started baking, there's this thing of how banana bread was there. People got back to the kitchen.
I think that was a good life. The first month of COVID, people were dying. But the good part was guys were back to just being human. Baking bread in the morning, maybe not going to the gym, go for a walk.
Even picnics became a thing.
Intimate things like you're mentioning.
Was a bit tricky at that point. Yeah.
You were just living.
Yeah. So
no responsibilities, no.
People are still working,
living.
But people got more.
No, the first weeks, guys were still scared of doing anything. Zoom was still not a thing. Remember?
It was just confusion.
And
yeah, human beings, we just adapt. What's this thing called?
When it comes to money and economy, people adapt fast, very fast. Because now they're thinking, how do we continue working?
Yeah. Things have to move. We can't just look at who's coming to save us if not us. Jesus can, but that means the one. But yeah, I think that was my last point. And we thank God that God has sustained us till such a point as this to say
we didn't get COVID-ish.
We didn't get
possibly,
COVID-ish.
But we don't know.
We've not.
There was no diagnosis.
Positive COVID tests. Have you done a COVID test before?
Imagine I've not even done a COVID test. Me, I'm gonna tell my kids your genes.
Yeah, but I did one because I was really.
Nobody in my house got COVID.
Wow.
My mom, my dad, my brother, me. My siblings did. They don't live with us. My siblings did. My sister got COVID twice, even in December last year. But our house. I
know people who are just.
I don't know how we
COVID
did it.
And them.
What?
Nashanga.
Yeah. Even Gil's sister got COVID again. Wow.
It's okay. We thank God that.
We thank God. Yeah, we made it. We made it, man.
Yeah, guys.
Hey, this has been. I really enjoyed this episode, man.
Yeah. It was nice. It was very weird in the beginning, like random.
Shout out to you guys working the UN.
We appreciate your efforts to maintain world peace.
Yeah,
keep it up. Sponsor this. Give us a grant or something.
Yeah. To-dos, I'm ready to go home, guys. I had an exam before this.
Remember
Goodbye.
To like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment. Tell us what COVID has taught you. You know, what have you come to appreciate between COVID happening and now?
Yeah, leave us a voice message if you're on Anchor. There's always a link in the audio listening platforms, or you can leave us. We're gonna put a poll up on Spotify. You can just respond. Just scroll down in the description. You'll see the poll. We're gonna ask you about your experience post COVID, or just interact with us. Thank you, YouTube, again, for the amazing comments we get from you guys. We absolutely love to see them. We love to see your support. If you have any recommendations on how we can improve our podcast, we're very open people. And yeah. Again, shout out to Impel Productions for helping us film this video, and Aura Homes for giving us this space.
And Radio 254.
And Radio 254, the real OGs. Make sure you catch us there every single Sunday. But they are huge supporters, and we love Radio 254. Thank you so much for supporting us. We're about to do a campaign with them very soon. On something CSR related.
Campaign sounds
like campaign sounds. I'm actually from doing a unit on campaign stuff, so maybe that's why that name is fresh. Yeah. But
an activity. But more details once we figure that out.
Yeah.
Also.
Okay.
Thanks for tuning in. Bye.
Bye. See you next week.